cut.
Round of applause for all of our
Good job
guests.
for everyone.
Yeah.
Awesome job.
Ooh, that was challenging for me to try to tie in all the topics.
Wow,
You were awesome.
Good.
You guys were great.
You're great. Thank you, Maria.
Thanks, Thanks,
It's one thing to have all stress management experts, you can kind of address, but it's different when everybody's got a different topic. So, but really, I think it worked out well. I'd be curious to see the playback on that. So thank you all so much for playing full out. And I used some of your questions, but some I didn't, and some of you didn't bring in, didn't send in your questions. So I think it all worked out very well. And what Ray was saying is it's always best to be extemporaneous when you really don't know what the questions are, because you then become authentic, right, Norma? I mean, you really are authentic.
All right, so I just want to give you a little bit of feedback technically. From a technical perspective, now, the reason why this is so important is you got to understand that if something didn't work technically during the interview and you're a guest, the host can only do so much to fix it. So the first thing I want to draw attention to is audio issues. If there's an audio issue, it's virtually, I won't say impossible because everything's possible, but let's say it's from an editor's perspective, it's very difficult to fix bad audio. Bad video is forgiving because we can cover it up. We can put still images over top. We can put B-roll over top. So if we have if video is a big issue, but the audio recording was great, it's very minimum. It serves as a great podcast. It's an audio interview. So one of the things I noticed was Maria's microphone. Every time she went, we're getting all kinds of crazy audio noise. Again, that's why I wear headsets, because I want to see what's actually. I want to hear what's actually occurring in the recording. And of course, the solution to that is upgrade to a better camera and a better microphone. Now, Maria is purposely using an older laptop to demonstrate what can go wrong if you think that you can get away with that older laptop or that older desktop. I'm encouraging you, just spend the $100 and get the proper equipment. And the microphone and the camera will make such an incredible difference in the audio quality and the video quality that it's just a no-brainer. Because what you don't want to do is be a guest on someone's show and have them come back to you later and say, the audio was unusable, but it wasn't from my end, it was from your end. And that causes a lot of frustration for them because they put the time in and they realize that because you didn't have the proper camera or the proper lighting or it affects their end product. So the information I've already given you will resolve a lot of that. The camera, the microphone, and the lighting was all going to resolve a lot of that. But if you're the host, you could have the same problem. What you're wanting to do is tell your guests prior to, first of all, ask your guests, what are you using for camera? What are you using for lighting? What are you using for audio? If you give some kind of a pre-interview instruction on how to make your guests look the best on camera, which is what we did in this entire workshop, is giving you tips on how to make sure that we can avoid a lot of those problems. Now, we're not going to avoid them all. There is always going to be something that comes up. We're looking to minimize Murphy. Murphy is going to want to attack any opportunity. We want to give Murphy the least amount of opportunity. So if we have the right equipment and we've taken all those necessary setup steps to avoid a lot of these issues that could come up, we're just going to have more success stories, more successful interviews, more successful products. So I'm glad that we had some technical issues on here so I can demonstrate that. When you go to watch this replay, you're going to see every time Maria begins to speak, there's an audio issue. Again, the way to correct that is to get the proper microphone. The way to correct poor visual images, to get the proper camera. That is huge. Once you got the technology out of the way, guess what's left? You. That's it. You're left. everything from once you got all the technical out of the way, it's your powerful message that is going to make the difference, is going to make the difference in people's lives. Because even though we try to get the best technical image and the best audio sound, in the end, your message is the thing that's going to inspire people. It's going to uplift people. It's going to educate people. It's going to entertain people. So technology is important, but you are much more important. So this was all focused on online interviews. You can take much of what you learned in this workshop to apply it to a stage. You can apply it to a studio. So my point here is we're not done, folks. We're not done working with you. Maria and I both feel that this was only the starting point of a relationship and the starting point of a friendship, starting point of a working process. So as I mentioned, what I would like to invite all of you to do to continue, because it's always sad at the end of any program to say, you know, that was fun, see you, maybe we'll see you again, maybe not. I want to encourage everyone to say, we will see each other again, and we'll see each other often. And one of the ways of doing that is to stay with us. Stay connected with us on LinkedIn. Make sure that you're checking into our blogs as we're posting all these upcoming workshops and teaching points. Oh, by the way, William and I are getting together and we're going to craft all of these slides into individual 10-minute tutorials. So everything will be chunked down in greater detail. So you're going to want to follow that because it's going to be it's going to be so valuable to you. But the other thing I want you to do is I want you to, if you're up for it, I want you to continue to join us for future workshops, because we rinse and repeat this workshop every month. We're going to go for another 4 weeks starting next week. So if you want to stay and play, you're welcome to do that. Now, the only thing that we're going to have limitations for, because we're limited by 100 cameras coming on, but obviously our limits go far below that, because we can't serve 100 people effectively on a workshop like this. But we can take 100 cameras into the system. It's just if we have a group of new clients aboard, we have to focus our attention on getting our new clients to practice. But that doesn't mean that you can't be with us during that whole process and on chat and providing feedback and continuing to learn. And here's the big one, and continue to network. Because each week, each month, we have a new group of people and new groups of people to bond with, new people to network with, new people to learn from. And so I encourage you to do that. We're also going to take this to another level. I know many of you, you may have gotten some good value out of this workshop. I believe that you can get additional value if you go on with Maria onto a strategy session, because there's a lot that you don't feel comfortable asking on a group workshop. There's some things that maybe are more personal to your business. I mean, you may have you have some insecurities in some area that you don't want to make public, especially when we have people like business coaches, and you don't want to blow your cover, right? So a good way to get a lot of those questions answered is go on with a strategy session with Maria one-on-one, where you can give her feedback, she can give you feedback, she can give you further advice on where to go, and she'll also invite you to join us for our mentorship programs or our memberships or anything else, any way that we believe we can serve you further in this area of media showcase. In other words, getting showcased in the media. Anything that we can go beyond this further, she will discuss that with you personally on a strategy session. This is an opportunity for you to ask any questions. She will answer them freely. You will also be able to, and I hope that you do this, provide an on-camera testimonial for your experience with us in the workshop, because that, of course, we need to practice what we preach. We tell you that it's important that when you do a media interview, make sure that you get a testimonial from your host Because if you have a host, especially a big influencer, telling you how awesome you were, you're going to want to use that testimonial for your next outreach when you're going to request another interview. So that's one of the things we're going to ask from you is give us a testimonial, give us some feedback, tell us how you feel, what worked for you, what didn't work. All that, Maria will capture all that. And 1 hour strategy session for anybody that wants to reach out to Maria to take this to the next level. We're also going to send you the link for next week's workshop if you want to join us again and continue. Okay, I think that's all from me, Maria. I'm going to pass it over to you.
I think we're really good. I'm going to be reaching out individually. Actually, I think everybody pretty much is part of the program, except for a couple of people. And I'll reach out to Sohaila with appointment calendar. Kevin, I'm following up with you to start you on your journey as well. Susan, I know we have a call here after, so we're doing great. And William, and by the way, guys, I'm gonna send you my my cell number. You can reach out to me whenever you want. It's just I may not be able to get back to you right away, but I'm pretty good about that. So just because if you're not part of the program, we just want to continue having the conversation. Ray and I are not those people that will drop you or, we're always going to be here. This is what we do. We love doing this. We love helping you. And we really hope that this was of value to you because Ray has poured out his heart and soul. He's designed this entire program. And this is what we walk our 10K program, our 10K clients through. This is their start. So this is not a fluff, side thing that we're doing. This is actually helping our clients, and we have our team do this for our clients. So I hope you enjoyed it. We really enjoyed having you, and so grateful for all of you being on the workshop as well.
And make sure before you get on with Maria that you do get to watch the replay, and you can, because watching yourself on camera is so insightful. And please, I have to say this as a disclaimer before we go. It's so important. You are your worst critic. All of you are going to look at yourself, and in the beginning, a lot of people are just going to hate the way you look. You're going to hate the way you sound, and know that not everybody is looking at your interview so critically. And one of the biggest challenges we have with clients is once we do the shoot, they're so critical about that, and they have so much. So what we do immediately is as soon as somebody starts to beat themselves up after watching themselves on camera, we say, listen, it's not your opinion that counts right now. It's the audience's opinion that counts. So we're going to actually ask other people what they think, people who are going to give you honest feedback, and we're going to hear what they have to say. And when you can hear a dozen or so people telling you how great, how awesome your content was and how impactful it was, then go with that. Don't go with your own opinion. On that note, it's been a pleasure working with each and every one of you, and God bless, and we'll stay connected. Okay, folks, you had an opportunity to learn from some of the top celebrities, entrepreneurs, and expert